Ukraine's newest defender, the French-made Mirage 2005F fighter, saw its first combat action on March 7, 2025. As a massive Russian assault of 67 missiles and 194 drones approached Ukrainian targets, the recently delivered aircraft entered the battlefield for the first time. The Mirage, capable of reaching nearly 1,500 miles per hour, went after a Russian Kh-101 cruise missile that had broken through defensive lines. With only seconds to react, the pilot locked on to the incoming threat. Dramatic footage captured by Ukrainian forces shows the Delta Wing fighter in pursuit, releasing what experts believe was a French MBDA MICA missile. The footage documents this crucial interception attempt, revealing whether France's sophisticated fighter can counter Russia's advanced cruise missiles raining on Ukraine. The missile war escalates. As the Russian invasion of Ukraine goes into its third year, the battlefield is evolving into a high-stakes arms race. Despite battling against economic sanctions, President Vladimir Putin remains set to keep Russia's war machine fully stocked, ensuring that new and more lethal weapons continue to roll off the production lines at any cost. Ukraine began to understand just how far Russia was planning on taking its next phase of destruction in early 2023, when Ukrainian forces recovered the wreckage of a downed Kh-101 missile. At first, it seemed like a regular post-strike analysis. But as Ukrainian soldiers approached the site of the crash, they began to realize there was something different about this missile. Closer inspection confirmed that this particular model of Kh-101 had started to mutate into something far worse. Equipped with an advanced electro-optical guidance system, this new variant could scan its surroundings, adjust its trajectory in real time, and go after targets with even more accuracy. Worse still, Ukraine discovered that Russia had embedded countermeasures, a system capable of detecting interceptor missiles and deploying radio frequency and infrared jamming decoys to evade destruction. If more Kh-101s like this were to be mass deployed by the Russians, the future of Ukraine could be at stake. However, the nightmare didn't end with the Kh-101's evolution. By May 2024, intelligence reports surfaced, revealing that Russia had been producing an even more destructive version of its HSEA Shahed-136 drone, also known as the Guran-2, or Russia's kamikaze drone, fitted with a heavier, nearly 200-pound warhead designed to maximize devastation upon impact. By the first half of 2024 alone, Russia had unleashed 2,628 of these drones against Ukraine's infrastructure to overwhelm Ukrainian air defenses, probe for weaknesses, and pave the way for incoming missile barrages. Then, as 2024 drew to a close, Putin's army crossed yet another red line when Moscow fired a never-before-seen hypersonic intermediate-range ballistic missile at the Ukrainian city of Dnipro, striking a key military facility and marking a new escalation in the war. It was reported that this was a response to foreign nations aiding Ukraine in its campaign against Russia. Following the strike, Vladimir Putin delivered a worrisome message, quote, "A regional conflict in Ukraine, previously provoked by the West, has acquired elements of a global character." The comment was quickly followed by a warning from Austrian Foreign Minister Karin Kneißl, quote, "Neither the US nor other countries of the world currently possess air defense systems capable of intercepting Russia's new hypersonic missiles." If true, this meant that Ukraine's defensive shield had been compromised, and Russia could be closer than ever to winning the war. March 7th. Following Russia's destructive escalation throughout 2024, Ukraine's Ministry of Defense was threatened with yet another unprecedented aggression during the first months of the new year. On March 7th, 2025, Ukraine faced one of the largest and most complex aerial assaults of the war. A wave of drones and cruise missiles designed to overwhelm air defenses was approaching. According to official reports, the attack was made up of 67 missiles alongside 194 drones. It was a coordinated assault that, if left unchecked, could leave vital infrastructure in ruins. Ukraine responded with everything it had: air defense missile units, electronic warfare systems, and mobile fire groups from both the Air Force and Defense Forces. But as the swarm of missiles and drones closed in, it became clear that the attack was too large. The battle could have ended in disaster if Ukraine's ground-based defenses had been left to fight alone. Luckily, the Ukrainians had advanced weapons of their own to strike back with. the delta-winged aircraft entered the combat zone. These were France's Mirage 2005F, delivered to Ukraine just weeks prior, and ready to engage in their first combat mission. The Mirage 2005 sent to Ukraine were upgraded to ensure success in one of the most intense battlefields in modern history. It's been reported that these French fighters were boosted with electronic warfare and countermeasure systems, making them more efficient at evading Russian defenses. Their air-to-ground combat capabilities were reinforced, taking full advantage of the RDY Doppler pulse radar system, which allows the aircraft to engage up to 8 moving targets simultaneously. These enhancements make the Mirage 2005 as much a defensive interceptor as a strike fighter, capable of delivering precision attacks deep behind enemy lines. However, the efficiency of these advancements remained untested. But as the attack of March 7th raged on, any doubts about their capabilities quickly disappeared. As the KH-101 cruise missile broke through, one of the Mirage 2005F followed. Images released by the Ukrainian Air Force captured the critical moments of the operation. A French fighter jet locked on to the incoming KH-101, its pilot assuming position for the perfect strike. Although few details were shared about the engagement, reports confirmed that the Mirage fired an air-to-air missile, suspected to be the French MBDA MICA, a fire-and-forget weapon capable of tracking and adjusting to its target in real time. The missile detonated mid-flight, and the KH-101 was destroyed before it could reach Ukrainian soil. Ukraine's arsenal. However, Ukraine's air superiority is still heavily challenged. Only 3 Mirages are currently deployed in Ukraine. The nation will need more advanced weaponry if it wants to gain the upper hand. French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu recently confirmed the transfer of Scalp missiles, deep strike cruise missiles weighing nearly 2,900 pounds, designed to annihilate fortified enemy positions in even the harshest conditions. Among them, Ukraine has also received the Mistral short-range air defense system, a heat-seeking missile launcher that can destroy incoming threats while mounted on vehicles, ships, or helicopters. Lecornu framed these reinforcements as a critical step, stating that this military support, quote, will allow the Ukrainian authorities to consider political solutions when they decide to do so. Beyond France's direct contributions, Ukraine has also secured the Anglo-French Storm Shadow missile, a precision strike weapon. These cruise missiles are designed for highly strategic, devastating strikes. With a price point of nearly $1 million per missile, Storm Shadow is not fired casually. Their near supersonic speed and terrain-hugging flight path allow them to fly past Russia's radar before slamming into bunkers, ammunition depots, and enemy command centers up to 155 miles away. Russia strikes back. However, Russia is not standing by as Ukraine ups its military game. With a new coordinated war machine known as the Offensive Triangle, Ukraine is no longer just facing waves of KH-101 cruise missiles raining down on its cities. Now, Russia is launching a full assault from multiple directions, including mass infantry assaults along a 600-mile front, drones hunting down Ukrainian defensive positions, and even glide bombs, some of the most unexpected weapons from the war. Despite boasting an arsenal of advanced high-tech missiles, Russia has found some of its biggest combat successes with a much simpler innovation, repurposing Soviet-era dumb bombs with wings and navigation kits. These simple but highly effective weapons can be launched from Russian aircraft up to 55 miles behind the front lines, out of reach of Ukraine's air defenses. Initially, Western analysts dismissed these bombs as a sign of Russian desperation, but their high numbers have proven everyone wrong. The Royal United Services Institute explained, quote, while these were initially considered individually dangerous, but not game-changing, or even a sign of Russian desperation, their mass producibility rapidly proved a key advantage. What these bombs lack in accuracy, they compensate for in destructive power. Even a near miss can demolish entire Ukrainian bunkers, forcing defenders to constantly relocate just to survive. By 2025, it's expected that Russia's glide bomb production will reach 70,000 units, forcing Ukrainian soldiers to fight harder than ever to hold their ground gains. Call for peace. As the conflict escalates, more than 30 nations are now considering a dramatic move that could change the course of the war, sending troops into Ukraine if a ceasefire is declared. The proposal has drawn a hard line between those seeking to enforce peace and those determined to dictate the terms. Vladimir Putin has rejected the idea, but French President Emmanuel Macron has been just as firm, making it clear that Moscow's approval is not required. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer echoed this defiance, stating through a spokesperson, quote, "It is worth remembering that Russia didn't ask Ukraine when it deployed North Korean troops to the front line last year." But with the tension growing with each passing day, the situation only seems to grow more volatile, and as diplomatic channels strain, Ukraine has little choice but to continue its pursuit of military superiority, because the alternative may be far worse.